Yeah, recording it is started. Guys, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So, I think in the last class where I was teaching like what is the environment, right? I think, right,
We
guys?
were we were doing JavaScript.
Ah, yeah, got it, got it, got it, got it. Okay, let's move further then. And yeah. Let me close all the things. Close, and let me open the uh, mm, JSON server. Everyone, please start your server in your local machine. Let me start my server. So yeah, this is the command to start. Have started now. Uh, Give me a second. Let me call last time. Let me call everyone. Okay, fine. So in last class we have seen that what are the data type we are using in JavaScript, right? We have seen that we are using let, var, and the constant. We also see that what is the difference, right? So we will use this data type in our JavaScript coding. Okay, so till now we have seen we have manually created the request, map the things, and we are map the the request body, get the response, verify the response, copy the ID, paste the ID, right? So we'll try to convert this thing into the automation side. Okay, so let's try to discuss one by one. So we have discussed the data type. What are the data type we have discussed? I think, yeah, the var, late, and the constant. Okay, so in this class we are discuss the one concept, that is let me explain you what is that concept. Which URL we are using? This one. Okay. Let's discuss some more detail in the parameterization. Let's suppose you assign in one project, right? Uh, Assign in one project, and you get the request which you have to map. Okay. So let's suppose right now you have 4 to 5 requests are there, right? So in the real time, guys, I want answer from you. Let me open the notepad. What are the environment in the real time you are doing testing? What are the environment you are doing the testing? Sir, who is AL here? May I know your name, sir? AL. Can you unmute? Because I have not seen you before. That. AL. Can you unmute,
It's
sir?
me. It's me, Amita Vikas.
Okay, okay. Fine, man. Sorry.
It's okay.
Because you recently joined, so I thought the new person is there.
No, no. I joined from a link you provided. As a guest, I joined because that's why.
So you are already in this batch now? Or
Yes, yes.
okay, okay. I can't see your name. You are already added there. So yeah, here, right?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Yeah. So tell me guys, what are the environment you are doing the testing in the real time? In the real time, what are the environment you are doing the testing? Like you are doing the testing on dev environment, right? You are doing the testing on QA environment, you are doing the testing on acceptance environment, you are doing the testing on automation environment, okay, automation QA environment, you are doing this testing on staging environment, okay, you are doing the testing on production environment, correct or wrong? Right? Agree?
Yes.
Right. Now, uh, when you get the things from the client side, right, you have created one collection inside the workspace, right? So, as part of this class, we will try to also concentrate on the designing section. Okay, how we are designing our collection actually. Okay, so we created one collection, we created one folder. Inside that folder, you start creating the request, right? As per the requirement when you get it, right? So this requirement is basically for the employee, right? To create the employee, you get the requirement you have added inside the folder, and you mention the. Let me remove. Let me create this thing. Yeah, I have created the data. Give me a second. Yeah, you are able to get it. This is your body. Okay, you created the, what is the data? Give me a second. From the content type header. Give me a second. Content type. Application JSON is coming. Auth. Let me check auth. So no auth because it don't require auth. Okay, raw we have selected, JSON we have selected. Beautiful. Okay, so you created the request, right? And here you can see in every request you are, your base URL is same, your host URL is same, right or wrong, for that particular project. Here you can see the base URL, your host URL is same. Agree? Agree guys?
Yes.
Now your team lead asking you or your client asking you, go and test for the uh, right now you are doing the testing on, let's suppose this is your dev environment, dev dot dev dev dot localhost 3000 employee, right? And you are using same URL here also, dev dot localhost, and here also dev dot localhost. Okay, dev dot localhost, right? Now you done your testing on dev environment. Okay. Now your team lead is asking you or your client is asking you, go and test for QA environment. The QA environment is ready to test. Okay. You can start do the testing on the QA environment. Okay. So tell me, there are only 5 requests. You can easily change the URL. Easily you can change. But in the real time, when you have a number of requests, like 100 requests, 200 requests, 300 requests inside the collection. So could you go and change the URL again and again? Let's suppose you have tested for dev, then you will go and change everywhere. Then if your team lead is asking you, go and do the testing on QA, so you will go here and change into the QA. Again you will go here and change into the QA, right? So if there are 200 of the requests, so tell me, it is hectic or not? It consume time or not?
Yes.
Right? So what we will do, will do the work very smartly. Okay, So I don't want to change everywhere. We have to implement the things in a generic way. Okay. So what you will do, like, because we don't have one single environment, that is dev, we have the multiple environment, right, which you have to test in future, in coming days, on the different environment also. So whenever you are creating anything, right, you have to take care of also take care about your, what is the future of that. If this things coming into your project, so we have to implement such a like that, so it will work also there and your effort will be very less. Okay, so if you go and change everywhere, like you will go here QA, then your team lead asking you to test on the acceptance, so you will go and change every request URL. Okay, so right now we have 4 to 5, right? So you can easily change it here, but in the real time we have 400, 200, or even 50 as well, right? So it is very hectic to change. So what we will do, we will parameterize this concept. Okay, we will take the help of environment, and we will create one variable and pass the static data there. Okay, so what concept I can use, what is your URL here? This is your URL. Okay, this is your URL, right? So what I will do, except we are not using the ACC here, so give some name, divide the component, split the component. Okay, so what is this one? Protocol, right? So we will create one variable protocol, right, and store the HTTP inside that. Okay, now we will create one base URL, something like that, and you can mention the base URL here. Whatever the base URL, this is your base URL, right? So copy this base URL and pass it here. Okay, so you can create the variable like that. So we are not creating the variable for the employees, because when your environment is changed, right, so this thing will be same, right or wrong. Let's suppose you are working on make my trip project, right, and uh, this is the resource, this is the hotel is one resource, villa is resource. Let's suppose this is on right now, you are doing the testing on the dev environment. Let's suppose this is the dev environment. Okay, in dev environment, these all are the option. Now your team lead asking to you go and test on the acceptance or QA environment. So tell me, this option, this resource will get changed or same?
Same.
Same.
Right? So that's why we are not creating the variable for the resource here, because this thing will be same, only your base URL will be changed. Okay, so what you will do, go to the environment and go to the edit section, here we can create protocol and store the value with HTTP. Okay, so I will go here and pass it here, right, and you can see, right, and let me create one more variable name, the base URL. Inside the base URL, copy this base URL and go here and pass it here. Now what value I have stored here? Yeah, this one. Okay, I will, right, now what I will do, I will save this thing. Okay, now I will go to the request, right, and I will take the help of parameterization, and let's use the parameterization. How I can use the parameterization? Double curly bracket and the variable name, copy the exact variable name here, protocol, and right, and then what is the base URL? You can, this is your base URL. Okay, so right, and sorry. Take it and pass it here, right? Now if you hover your mouse, can you see it here? It is in the green and it's showing the initial value and the current value, HTTP and the base URL. Okay, so let me open the console and in the new window and right, clear this thing and go. You will see you are getting the response, and when you go here, can you see the URL get append like protocol value? It will, when we are executing this particular request, it will go and check the variable name, what variable value is assigned. So it will go to the environment and check where the value is. So it will take the HTTP, and similarly for the base URL, or and then it will append both the variable and create the URL for you. You can see it here in the console. Right now, similarly we can do the same action for the, you can change it for everyone. So I will go here and change it for here also. Okay, now go here and change it here also. Okay, save it. Let's save it. And in the patch also, let's save it. Okay, I have saved it, and let's go here and save it. Right now, let's see what happened. You can see the URL is, yeah, correct, localhost. We are using this one. Okay, and let's try to call this one. Okay, now if you go here, you can see get call, the URL is correct. Okay, now let's suppose your team lead asking you go and test for the acceptance or dev environment or QA, right? You can simply make the change here. Simply make the change here. Let's suppose he's asking to you that let's suppose the base URL get changed, and they added the QA dot like that. Okay, so I will change it here in the current value, save it here, and let go here and call. Now if you go here and check, can you see it here, QA.localhost, right? So when you call here, you can see, if you go there and you can see it here, QA, right? Now your team lead asking you go and test for the acceptance, go and test. So the developer will provide you the new base URL to you, correct? And you are making only one place, you are making the changes, and that changes will get reflected wherever you are using that particular variable. Here if you go the console, here you can see HTTP ACC localhost 3000 employee. Okay, if you are using get call, and if you go here and check, you can see. So guys, tell me what is the benefit here? Now you reduce the effort or not? Previously you are using, everywhere you have to go and change. Now you only go to the environment and you can change it here at one place, and it get reflected everywhere where you are using this variable, right or wrong? Agree?
Yes.
Right now the question is when you have to do this action. The question is when you are doing this action. So whenever you get the requirement, right, at that time you can split the things, and you can start creating the designing like that, right? Because when you do this thing in between of your project or at the end of the project, at that time you have the multiple requests, right? So everywhere you have to change, and it takes the effort as well. If you create this strategy in the beginning of the project, then you can you can implement the things like that, right? If you, let's suppose, you are not use the variable concept in the beginning, you had simply used the URL, the hard coded, right? And you created the 200 APIs or 100 APIs, and then you are thinking that let's parameterize this thing, then you are again going and changing everywhere, right? So it requires the more efforts and the time. So in the beginning, when you get the URL from the developer or the client, so give some proper name and split the things and create the variable inside the environment and use in all the requests. Correct? Any question, guys?
Vikash, one question. Whatever we give in environment, and if we choose that environment variable visible, is that applied to all the collections and requests that we have?
Sorry, come again, madam. Come again.
I mean, the environment you have test, right? It is named as test C and B, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
if we make this visible, it will be used in all the collections and requests what are
Exactly.
using.
If you select this particular environment in the drop down, it will applicable for all. Let's suppose there is only one collection. If we have other collection, so you can choose that collection, and this environment you have to make it as a active. Then whatever the variables are created inside this particular environment, you can also use in the other collection as well. Okay, clear, madam? Hello, madam, did you get your answer? Guys, am I audible? Guys, can you hear me or not? Anyone can
Yes,
see?
we can.
Yes, we can hear
Okay,
you.
fine. So let's try to discuss. So this is the how you can parameterize your URL. The same concept when you learn some other tool like SoapUI or JMeter, right? So we'll use the same concept there also, but the way of doing is the way of doing this thing is different there. I think the guys who is taking my JMeter classes, so we were using the same concept there also, but you in using the different way actually. Okay, now from where this value is coming from here. Okay, no problem. Okay, so let's try to discuss. Let me say, when you create the variable here, you can see you get the ID 41. You get the ID 41, and when you want to verify this ID 41, you have to copy this thing and you have to paste it here, right? So 41, right? And then you will get the, you can verify the value, right? So let's try to manually we are doing this thing, right? So let's try to automate this thing using the JavaScript. Okay, so here you can see pre-request section we have test section. Let's first discuss the test section. Okay, so test section is basically used after the request. When when your request will get executed, after that your test section will get executed. right? So this is the sequence of that. First it will execute when I click on send, right? So first it will verify the pre-request. First it will execute the pre-request. The sequence is pre-request and then sample request and then your test where you are writing the JavaScript code. Okay, so after when you get the response from the server, after then this section will get executed, the test section. Okay, so here this ID you are getting from the server, right? Right now you have to fetch this ID and you want to use this ID in the subsequent call, like get the user get the employee data using the ID, update the ID, like here we are passing the ID, and delete the ID. Agree? Agree, guys?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So ma'am, you can check your connection because everyone hear me actually. Some issue from your end. Okay, let's try to understand this concept, and this concept is very, very important. Okay. Before that, I want to explain you one concept, that is JSON parse. JSON parse. Okay. So I think I have already explained you what did you mean by the JSON. So JSON is the format which is used to make the communication between the two services. JavaScript object notation, it is used to exchange the data from a web server, which I have already explained you in earlier classes. Okay, when you are receiving the data from the web server, the data is in the form of string, right? So basically JSON parse is used to convert that data, convert that string value into the JavaScript object. Okay, so JSON parse is used to convert the string value into the JavaScript object, because here we are using JavaScript. We will write the JavaScript code here, right? So when you get a response from the server, it is in the form of string, right? So first we have to convert that thing into a JavaScript object. After then you can use that concept. Okay. So when you get that response from the server, this is the response which you get it from the server. Okay. So we will use the concept. We will use the concept JSON dot parse, right? JSON is basically to exchange the data. It is used as a format, format of the request body, right? And the parse, it will parse the things, it's convert the string into the JavaScript object. Okay, so here when you get the response, where it is yeah, when you get the response, right, you have to write the code JSON. Here you can see it is an interface. JSON is an interface. We will use the interface JSON dot parse. Parse is one method. It's convert the string into the JavaScript object. Parse, and where you get it from the data, from the response body. You need the data from the response body, right? So here you can type as a argument response body and semicolon, right? So this particular code JSON.parse will convert your string into JavaScript object, right? And what we will do after storing these things, after storing this thing inside after converting this string into JavaScript object, you what you can do it here, you will store that JavaScript object inside one variable. So I have using the data type as a var, and you can use here response body. You can give some proper name here, response body. You can give it any name here, guys. Okay, so it's up to you. So use some proper name here. Okay, response body, right? When you console is basically to print the message which you want. Okay, console dot log. For the debug purpose, for the log purpose, we are using console.log. If anything you will write inside console.log, that will get printed what this particular variable contain. Okay, so copy this thing and pass it here and semicolon and call. It's showing me the error message is not defined. Something we are doing wrong here. Let's pass the body like that. Yeah, no, it's correct. We pass because the response body B should be in capital. Okay, so when you go to the here, let me clear this thing. I have cleared the board and let me again call. Go to the console. So guys, you can see it here, whatever what the variable which I want to print, right? I have written inside the console.log. So if I use anything inside the argument inside the console.log, it will get printed here in the console.log, in the console page. Here you can see. So you can see it here, whatever you will get in the response, that get printed here, right? Right, guys? So what concept I have used? I have used JSON.parse. Okay, I have converted this response into the JavaScript and stored this thing. Here I have written the response body because I want the data from the response body. It is already defined variable name which you have to use. Already defined variable name which you have to use. It's already defined by the Postman which you have to use. Okay.
Vikas,
Yeah.
One question here. Like we will convert this JSON into JSON object while sending the request to the server or while getting response?
After getting the response. When you get the response from the server, right, after that this test section will execute it. So this convert the string into the JavaScript object and store inside this variable. Okay, so we can print
But
this
whatever
variable.
response we get, it is in array form, right? The response body is
It is in the JSON object. Here you can see.
JSON object. So why again we are like you are telling like it is string and then it is converted to the JavaScript object. It's already it is
Basically what happened when you connect with the server, so basically internally it this is considered when you anything get it from the server, the web server, right? It is in the form of a string actually, right? So if you want to parse the value, if you want to fetch anything from the response body, first you have to convert into the JavaScript. After that you can fetch the data in JavaScript. If anything, if you are connecting with the server, right, so the response which you get, it is in the form of string, right? And that string using the JavaScript, using the JSON.parse, you have to use that code to convert the string into the JavaScript. If you go here and type JSON parser, okay, so JSON path. Let me open this thing. Here you can see a common use of JSON is to exchange the data from a server. When when receiving the data from a web server, it is always a string actually. The server will return as a string. You have to convert that string if you want to perform, if you want to do any action, the response which you get it from the server, then first you have to parse that thing, right, using the json.parse and convert into the JavaScript object. Okay, here you can see this thing you have get it from the server in the response, right? If you want to use this thing, first we have to convert that thing into the JavaScript. Okay, if you go here and let's check some. Yeah, here you can see Java JSON.parse method parses strings and return the JavaScript object. Okay, so here you can see, if you go here on the official site of the JSON, here you can see JavaScript object notation. It is a lightweight data interchange format. It is easy for human to read and write. It is easy for machine to parse and generate. It is based on the subset of JavaScript programming language. So second. Yeah, okay, the same thing actually.
Yes, Vikas, is it necessary that mostly servers send request and response in
Yeah,
JSON
it is
format?
form of the, here you can see, yeah, in every site they have given that when you get the data from the server, right, web server, it is in the form of string, right? We have to convert that thing into the into the JavaScript to perform any action, right? So first we have to convert that thing into the JavaScript. If you are doing any code, like if you are using rest assured, right, here like that you have to use the code. Like here you can see JSON, this is your which you are getting from the server, like name and age and the city, right? Here they have stored the things inside the text, and then they are converting that thing into the JavaScript. Okay, so this is the syntax, string and the function. Okay, same thing in here also. When you correcting with the server will return in the form of string, right? And you want to get the ID, right? So using the JavaScript, so first you have to convert your response body into the JavaScript object. So how you can convert that thing? Using the json.parse, and here you have to pass the body which you have to get it here, right? Here you have to parse that thing. Okay, here you can write response body and store that thing inside one variable, and then if you are trying to print that thing, you will get the value. Clear? Now you get that thing. Now we will use the concept. I will explain you how you can access the thing. Right here, I think I have already explained you JSON extractor, online. This tool I have explained you that you have to fetch the value, right? Now we will use this concept. Okay, So I have stored all the things inside this variable, right? Correct. Now whatever the things I want from this response body, I have to get it from this response body, because all the things I have stored inside that. Now I want the ID, right? So how I can, so guys tell me, I want the ID, this ID, how I can? So I can use simply ID. You can see ID, right? So same thing, dot ID, and let me call. If you go to here, can you see the ID here? 45, right? Now if you want to fetch the first name, right? So what I can use, again I will use console.log response body dot first name. Which property I want to fetch? First name, right? So first name I have entered here, and when you go to the console here, you can see 46 and Nitish 123. Okay, first I have stored this thing inside one variable, and using that variable I'm trying to access the data. Okay, so guys tell me, I want the date of birth. So how I can console.log dot date of birth. What is the date of birth key name? Date of birth. Okay, and you can call. Can you see it here? Date of birth. Right. Now guys, you guys help me how I can get the address city. What JSON path I have to write it here? Tell me. Console.log. Now tell me guys, what JSON path I have to write to get the city?
Address dot
First I
address
have to write the
response
from
body
where you
dot
want to
response body.
response body
dot dot
address of 0
address of 0, right? And then
dot city.
city. So this concept which I am explaining you, it is not only applicable for the postman. The same concept we will also use in other tool as well. You can see Delhi. Right? Now guys, now you store the response dot body. Right? Now you fetch the data. Now guys, you get this ID. Now the question is, I have to put somewhere, right? So that I can use this ID in the subsequent call. Agree? Agree or not?
Can
Yes.
you repeat?
Right now I fetch this data. ID, first name, whatever the property you want, right? You have fetched that particular here using console.log, right? Now you have to use in the subsequent call, but the things is you have to use in the subsequent call where it required. Then how I can? So what you will do, you have to store somewhere, and from that particular place, the subsequent call can use, right?
Yes.
Right. So what you can do, and one more thing, guys, if whatever the action you are doing, be a professional, automation tester, right? Be a professional tester or developer, they are always try to make the things, whatever the code you are writing here, try to mention that thing what you are doing here, because when your colleague or your team lead or your client will see the code, he or she can easily understand. So what I'm doing here, I'm storing the response body store the response body inside one variable. Store the response body inside the variable. Okay, so I have stored, this code is doing actually, so that's why I have written. So whenever you're, whenever you're the fresher or your client will look at this code, they can easily understand what this code is basically doing. Or you can also write, convert the string into the JavaScript and store inside one variable, one custom variable. It's up to you what message you want to write it here. Okay, how you can write, use the double quote, sorry, double forward slash, so that particular thing as a, consider as a comment, right? So now I fetch this thing. Now I have to store this thing inside the variable. If I store this thing inside the variable, right, and then if I parameterize this thing, we can use in subsequent call or not? Tell me. If I store this ID inside this inside this environment, right, and when I store this thing inside this variable in the subsequent call using the parameterization, can I use that ID or not? Agree?
Yes, Vikash.
Okay, so how we can do, we will use the concept set and get. Set and get. We will use the concept of set method and the get method. Set, and the first thing is set and get. Set and get method. We will use these two methods to set the variable and get the variable. If anything you want to store inside the variable, you can use the set method, and anything if you want to get it from the environment, you can use the concept of get. Okay, let's try to use. Okay, so what action I am trying to do it here? Set the employee ID. Set the employee ID inside the environment. Okay, let's write the code. So before that, there is one object, PM. This PM is the postman object. Inside this object, the postman has defined all the method for the automation testing. Whatever the method will require, they have mentioned all the method inside this object, right? So we will use PM dot environment. Here you can see when you hover your mouse here, PM dot, here you can see the PM object includes all information pertaining in the script being executed and allowed one to access a copy. Okay, so this particular PM object is already defined by the postman. Okay, so we will use PM object, PM dot, and where you want to, it is simple language. Let's try to understand where you want to store the variable inside the environment. So we will use environment. Here you can see environment property. Okay, inside the PM object, they have defined one property, environment, right? Enter, select that environment dot inside the environment property, I have to use the set method to set the variable. I will use set. Here you can see set. Set is method. Method means inside the method we are writing the logic. The developers are writing the logic, the tester are writing the logic. So it is already inbuilt method, right? Ready-made method we have. Okay, so click on set method, and as a argument I have to use it here. If you hover the mouse, you can see the syntax of the set method, the key and the value. What is the syntax of the set method? Key means a variable name, which variable name you want to create, okay, and the value, what value you want to store. This is the syntax of the set. Okay, so here what I have to pass, the variable name, what variable name I want to give. So give some proper naming convention so that everyone can understand. Set the employee, set something like that, set employee ID. You can give any name. So if you put any name with that variable name, it will get stored inside the environment. Okay, and then comma, what value you want to store, right? So this is your value. Can I say response.id is my value? Because you can see console.log, when I'm using console.log, when I'm trying to print this value, you can see id get fetch, right? So to make it as a dynamic, can I say response.id is your value? If you want to store first name, then response body.first name. Any question, guys, up to here? It is very simple and straightforward. Okay, so you can use the set method and you can put the variable name. From this variable name will get created inside this environment and store this value, and this value you can get it from here, response body.id. That's why I have used the console.log to print this value, right? So when I save this thing and try to call, right, here you can see 49, you can see, and when you go to the environment and edit, can you see it here? One variable get created here. I have not created manually this thing. This variable I have created using the automation script, using the JavaScript. And you can see 49 get assigned here in the current value. In the current value, right? So let me again call. And if you go here and go edit, can you see it here? It's taking the updated ID or not, or it is static?
It is updating.
Now guys, you want to use this variable in the subsequent call, right? So this thing is executed after you get the response. This test section will get executed, right? And this particular variable get created inside the environment. You have the question, when this environment get created at the runtime, when your script is executing at the runtime, this variable get created inside the environment. inside the environment. Now you want to use that environment, employee ID here, right? So how you can use, using the parameterization, right, and save it. And here you want to also use in the update call, right? Here you can make it as a change, right? And in the delete call as well you want to use. You can see it here. I have used the parameterization. Let me clear all the things here. The clean board we have, and let me call. If you go here and ID is 51, if you go and check the response, ID is 51, right? If you call get employee ID, and here you can see 51. If you go and check the console, you can see 51, right? If you go here, and here we are not using, to ignore this call, update, here we are using, right? If you go and call, here you can see 51, and you want to delete, right? So call, that's the ID get deleted. Now you can see 51. Now tell me guys, I have manually changed anything, or using this script all the things are happening, right? I have not manually copied the things and pasted here, right or wrong?
Because this
Right?
delete part, can you tell again? I missed that.
Yeah, it's simple. I have used that variable, right? In the delete call, you want to delete that particular ID, right? So you have passed that variable name, right? It will go inside this test environment and check what is the value is assigned, 51, and then that particular ID will get deleted.
One
Simply,
doubt, yeah,
yeah, tell me.
like in post request, when we are performing this automation code in test, so in this first we have to give in body the JSON object, and then we have to write the script in test, like
Come
we have
again,
mentioned
come
here
again. What
response.
you're trying to say? Come again.
Like in test, we have mentioned response body. So
Mm-hmm.
first we may need to give also no JSON object in body. Then only it will recognize this response body in test.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you are asking for others.
Like for your post request, like we are doing. So
Mm-hmm.
in this first we need to give JSON object, but
No, no.
like in detail. Yeah.
For the post method, if you are trying to fetch anything from the response body, that's why we use the parse concept here. But in another case, we are not trying to fetch anything. We are passing something,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
that I've got. I was saying like in test we are mentioning JSON dot parse response body, but
Mm-hmm.
somewhere we have to give this value of response body, no? So first step, what we need to do when we have to do a post request.
So you are trying to say that if you want to pass the whole request response body in another call.
No, first we need to create something in post request, so we need to give this JSON object in body, no? Like this employee detail, this JSON object we need to give in body, and then we need to perform this automation script in test.
If you are doing the automation testing, if you are writing the script, if you are not using the automation testing, if you are not using JavaScript, then no need to mention that thing. If you want to write the JavaScript code and you want to do the automation testing, in that case first you have to parse the thing. Whatever the response you will get it from the server, it is in the string. So you have to first convert that thing into the JavaScript object. After then you can store that thing here, and then you can do the action actually. in the post call. If the same thing you want to, I'm not explaining you that this concept is only applicable for the post method. You can also use in the patch method. If anything you want from the patch method response, then you have to write the code it here also.
Okay. So, okay, I will clarify later. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Vikas,
So yes, sir.
hello.
Tell me.
Actually, can you explain me once again that PM dot you explained? No?
Okay. So PM is already defines object by the postman. It's already defines object by the postman. Inside that, they have created all the properties and the method for the automation testing, for the automation testing using the JavaScript, right?
It is
So
like
we,
library.
yeah, it's just like a library, it's just like an interface, you can say. Inside that interface they have used all the methods and the properties. Using that interface you can use using the dot. Okay, here if you go here, let's suppose PM, you can see it here. If you hover the mouse and if you hover the mouse here, the PM object includes all the information basically. So this basically you can say also library, also you can say like interface also, right? So this particular object, the postman is asking as an object, right? So I think they have created one library, they have created one class, and that class name is the PM, right? So we are creating one PM object, and using that PM object we can accessing the environment and the set method actually. So when you go here, you can see these all are the property which is inside that PM object: environment, accept, global, info, request, response, send request, test, variable. Okay, so if you select environment, then here you can see these all are the set method inside the environment. What are the method they have used? Set, to JSON, to object, unset. Okay.
Is
So
there something
for to
like get
use
method
this,
also?
to use this particular class or object, you don't have to import, or externally you have to import any library or any jar file like which we are doing in the Selenium, in the REST assured, right? We don't have to do such type of activity here. Simply you can write PM dot, you will get all the whatever the require action you want, you will get that particular property and the method. You don't have to externally import anything like a jar file or any files here. Okay, if you are using the same concept in the REST assured using Selenium, in that case you have to import the REST assured jar file, library file. Or if you are using client HTTP, then you have to import that thing into your Selenium. After then you can use this particular methods and the properties. But here we don't have to do such type of things. Simply PM object you can access the property or method. Clear, sir?
Because
Yeah.
you are sending now like a set, no? Like that way, is there a get method,
Yeah,
and
get
instead of
get method.
parameterization, like
Mhm.
parameters sending in the test code, like there we'll write the code. So can you show that one scenario?
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's suppose I want to get this variable, right? So let me explain you one basic concept. I told you this parameterization will work on the 5 place. So can you tell me the 5 place where I can use the parameterization concept? The 5 place in the previous classes I have explained you. What are the 5 place where the parameterization concept will work? I have told you the 5 place where we can use the parameterization. If you want to use any
It is
variable.
on
Mhm.
para
Collection level.
You can use
Request
not
body.
in the collection level. We have lot of things.
Param.
In the param,
Param,
This
you
on
can
author,
use,
yes.
right?
authorized,
And
In
header,
auth you can use, in
author,
header you
headers,
can
header
use, in
and
URL
request
you can
body.
use, in
pre-request
request,
URL.
not pre-request, request body. This
Request,
5 place I
yes.
have told you, right? But
Yes.
this parameterization will not use in the test section or pre-request section. This will not work. If I use this concept here, let me remove all the console, and let's suppose I want base URL, right? So I will use console.log and parameterize this thing. How I can parameterize base and the what is the variable name base. Okay, so you will get the syntax error here, you can see. Okay, so the parameterization concept will not applicable for the test part or for the pre-request part. You can only use in the URL, in the body, and in the header. Here you can see, in the auth, here you can see, here in you can pass, in the param you can pass. But in the pre-request you can't directly parameterize. You can't directly parameterize this concept. Now the question is how I can use this. Let's suppose we have a scenario where I want to use this first name in the test or pre-request, right? How I can use. So in that case, again you can use the PM object, PM dot, and from where you want to use the variable. So variable is inside the environment, right? So use the environment property dot, and what you are trying to do it here, get the data, right? So in the Postman they have already defined one method, get, and click on the get. If you hover the mouse here, you can see there is only one argument we are using, key, and the string value which you have to pass. So here you have to pass which variable you want to access. Let's suppose you want to access first name. Okay, so I will pass that first name inside the double quote, right? Inside the double quote, right? And now console this thing, console dot log, and pass this thing here, right? And let me call. Can you see it here, Nitish 123?
Because what we have, if what if we have more than one environment thing specified? How we will get that using the name?
Sorry, come again.
In the environment section, right? That local variable, if we have more than one,
More
so that
than
time.
one, in that case you have to individually, you have to get that property. I will explain you ma'am all the things. This is the starting of the automation script, right? So we will come with every scenario, like how you can use every property, how you can use this thing in one call. So everything I will guide you. Okay, so here you can see right now we have seen like how you can use the ID, right? For the ID we have used first we have stored that thing inside one variable, and you can set that thing using set method, right? And using set method you store that thing inside this variable, right? And using the parameterization concept you have used that thing in the subsequent call. Here you can see in the subsequent call, in the subsequent call, right? So in the coming class we will see right now the data which we are passing here, that is static or dynamic. Tell me, the first name, last name, prefix, and email ID is static, hard coded, or dynamic? Tell me.
It's a
It's static.
static.
Static value, because this thing we have used the parameterization, but this is still as a static data, right? You can see it here. The value is coming from the environment, and in the environment I have used the static value, right? Let's suppose in the real time, the in the I think here you can see which call here you can see if I'm using this call, right, you get created the data, right? So let's suppose I'm using the email ID. Yeah, I'm using this employee email ID, and let me parameterize this thing. Okay, I have parameterized this thing, right? So you can see I'm using different folder but same environment. Okay, so I have parameterized this thing, and let me call. So first time it will work, right? When you use the second time call, you well, some issue from the server side actually, socket exception. Let me again call. Yeah, email ID is already taken, so your test case get failed, right? So if your requirement is asking you that the email ID or name should be unique, then how you can do that, how you can create the request. Okay, so in tomorrow class I will discuss how you can make this thing as a dynamic, and how you can use in the subsequent call. And after then we will discuss let's suppose where our request ta, 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 ta. Which folder? Yeah, so we get this response, right? So as part of the requirement asking you whatever the data you get it from the response, you have to verify first name, last name, prefix, birth, surname, email ID, date of birth. So we will also discuss in the test section how you can write the code to validate the first name and other property, right? And we will also discuss the designing stuff. So we will using the chai, in the Postman we will using this concept, chai assertion library. Okay, so we will discuss this concept. Okay, chai assertion library. Okay, so in coming classes, we will discuss how we can write the first name, last name, whatever the data. If you want to create as a dynamic, how you can make it as a dynamic. We will discuss the pre-request section, what is the use of pre-request section, and then how you can validate this thing. And along with that, we can also discuss how you can design your stuff, how you can design your collection. Clear? Any question, guys?
Because one small question. Actually, I've used that statement, right? PM dot environment. There, that environment on set, it is like a inbuilt methods of that interface, right? PM.
Yeah, this is the inbuilt method actually. Inbuilt method inside the environment, and that environment is inside the PM object.
Yes. Similarly, JSON dot parse, is that also like same, or is it a separate?
JSON is defined by the JavaScript. It is the JavaScript code. It is defined by the JavaScript JSON code actually. Okay, it is not inside this is not defined by the Postman. If you use the Postman code, right, we have to use PM dot, we have one concept, yeah, this one, PM dot response dot JSON. This is the defined this is defined by the Postman, right? So this code is similar to this code. So inside the PM, the response, from where you want to get the response, right? So response data you want, right? So it will get the response, and it is the JSON form. So I have used the JSON method. if you use console.log and console.log, and if you print this thing, you can see the output. Same thing. So either you can use the JSON method, that is json.parse, and here you have pass as an argument response body. If you want to use the Postman object, then you have to use this code. So for the same thing, we have the different way. Okay.
Okay, Vikash. Thank you.
Right. In when this thing we are also using this Java, this concept, the developer frequently use this concept in his coding, and even when you learn the REST assured or Selenium, you will use this basically JavaScript, because this thing will not work, because this code is only work in the Postman. Right. The PM object is only defined in the Postman actually. Okay, this will not work outside the Postman. Clear?
Okay. Because JSON dot only parse we can use, or there also we have any inbuilt thing? Can you type like
No,
JSON?
JSON and the parse, right? JSON parse, and here you have to pass the body which you want to convert. Which you want to convert. Here you can see here. If you go here, you can see. Here you can see. They have created one Java JSON object, right? And they are, parsing this thing into the JavaScript object. Here you can see. It's simple.
Yes,
String
that I
and
got it. Okay.
okay.
Thank you.
So you can see this is the JavaScript. This code is for the, you can see it comes under the JavaScript. Here you can see JavaScript, right? So this is the JavaScript code actually defined by the JavaScript code. Okay, and this concept which we have used, pm.response.json, it is defined by the Postman. This is the Postman object, and from the Postman object we are trying to access the properties and the method. Okay, clear? So thank you guys. We'll meet tomorrow in the same time, 8:15. So please be on time and start doing the practice, because this is the start level of the automation skill. When we move, further, so complexity will be more. So if you don't do the practice, you will face problem. Okay, so start doing the practice. Okay.
Because if
Yes,
class
sir.
is done, like I was actually asking one question.
Yeah, 1 minute, sir. The class is over, guys. So if anyone having any question, then continue this call. Otherwise, you can do your work. You can continue your office work. Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a nice day. Yes, sir. Tell me.
Actually, I want to say, like, if we do a post request, we create a JSON object in our, like, say in our database. So here we are doing it by automation, no? So here we are using response body for in place of that JSON object, like JSON.parse bracket response body. So response body is something like it is JSON object, no?
This response body,
This is
which you are
response
getting
body.
from the server.
Okay.
If you
So
want to use response body, request body, this one, right? If you want to get the data from here, right, here you have to pass a request body instead of response body.
okay. So firstly, like if I'm doing post request by this automation, so I need to create a new record like Nitish ABCD. I need to create that. So for first, what I need to do, like I need to give a JSON object of data.
Okay,
First, I
tell
need
me
to
what I have to do. Let me, I'm going to close all the thing, and okay, tell me what I have to do. I have created new request. Then what you are trying to say?
yeah, if I am not doing by this by automation, first I need to if I need to do a post request, first I need
Okay,
to
post. Okay,
yeah
then
first I need to go to a body and
okay, body. Yes,
yeah
and
and
draw.
give yeah draw and then give a JSON object.
Yeah, create. Correct.
Okay, and then I need to give a
Okay,
URL.
let me take the
And
body and then pass it here. Okay, and then pass the URL what you have. So this is your URL and you can pass it here now.
okay, okay, fine. These are we are doing by parameters. Okay,
Yeah.
so for, I've given body, I've mentioned in URL. Then I need to give in header accept type. Then
Whatever the basic things we have to do it. Okay, and then
okay, and then select JSON. Okay, and then do as yeah, then send. Then click on
yeah,
send button.
yeah. Then
Uh,
click on send. You get the response. So based on the response, we start writing the code here.
Okay. But like we are doing a post request in automation. So post means to create a new data. So for that
Yeah.
we need to give one body node like JSON object body, which we will be creating in the database.
Sir, yeah. So that is the body, no? This one is the body.
Yes. So first what we need to do, like if we are doing a automation request through post, first step what we need to do.
If you are doing the automation, so first you have to map your requirement. So you have to create the request, select that particular method, pass the request body and the URL here, header here, right? So your body, your request is completed, then you have to write the code. Write the why we are writing the code. When you create this particular data, right, you need some of the property, right, to verify for the in automation testing what you are doing. In automation testing, whatever the data you have created, you want to validate, like the first name is correct or not, last name is correct or not. So in the manual testing, what you are doing, so your data is created, what you are doing, the first name which you pass it here, right, whatever the value you have passed it here, the same value you will get in the response or not, you are doing the manual testing,
Yes, yes.
right? So whatever the last name you are passing here, the same thing you are getting in the last name or not, the prefix whatever you have passed in the prefix, the same thing you are getting here or not. So you are doing the manually, right? So you have to write the code for that, so that you don't have to do the manually.
Okay. Okay. So, so like I need if I'm talking about post request doing this by automation, first I need to also give this JSON object.
No. This request body will consider. We don't have to separately give the body in the automation. This body will consider actually. We don't have to separately pass in
So
the
how
script actually.
so how it will recognize like what is request body and what is
because because in the postman we are using this request, everything is at place actually. So server will understand the body is inside this body, the header is inside this header, authorization is inside the auth, param is inside param.
so if we create a new fresh post request, then how should we proceed?
Same way you can create the post and pass the URL, whatever the URL, select the body, go to the raw JSON, pass the JSON body, whatever the JSON body, and if you want to do the automation testing as well, so write the script for that. When you connect with the server, it will check the method, URL, body and header and the param. Based on that, whatever the code you have written, it will get validated.
And in that we will in test we will use request body, no, in place of response body like we were doing.
Why I'm asking request body, if you want to use, let's suppose you want the, okay, tell me one thing, tell me one thing here, what is your expected result and what is your actual result?
My expected result is that whatever parameter I've given.
So can I
in
say this request body is my expected,
yes,
which user is passing, right?
yes,
And
yes,
this is my actual,
yes. No, this
right?
yeah, actual.
This is your actual, which you are getting from the server, right?
Yes,
Right. So when you write the automation code, what you are doing here, you will verify actual and the expected,
yes,
right? So to get the expected result and expected it inside your request body, right? So if you have to get the data from the request body, right? So that's why you can write the request body here, and then you can map the actual and expected.
okay,
Here why we are using a response body, so because I want the data here, I want the ID here, right? Even this thing is doing after server, after you get the response from the server, after then this code will execute it. This thing, nothing we are doing, we are the server will not do anything with this code actually. This is done by the postman actually. This execution is not done by your server. This is done by the postman actually. The test part is done by the postman actually. This is not done by the server actually. There is no connection with the server.
and in this, like, we are also like using the response body and changing, like we are changing the ID by updating it. So with this we are doing in a post request. So this is also fine, because earlier
Come
we are
again.
doing by patch, like earlier any update we are doing by patch
Mhm.
method, but here in post we are using request body dot id and we are updating it. So this will also work.
Okay, tell me what I have to do.
Nothing. I was just asking, like, generally I understand, like, doing post request means by
Mhm.
means creating a data, new
Data,
data.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But here we are also updating the ID using the environmental variables. So this is also fine. I'm asking. We can do it
No,
by post
yeah,
request.
yeah. Give me a second. Give me a second. So your script is done. When you get the requirement, your script is done. You have written the automation script. You have manually mapped the thing, right? So when you are doing the automation script, okay, let me close all the tab. Close. When you go here in the collection runner, run collection, deselect all, and create the employee. This call we are using, create the employee, get the employee data, patch and delete. So this particular request we are using for the automation script. So if you do the automation script, right, so when you run this thing, right, so first what it will do, it will create the data, verify the data, and again it will verify the data using get all, and then update the data, then delete the data. When you are again executing the things, then again it will create the data. So every time it's creating the new data. And here you can see, that's why I'm deleting the things here, so that whatever the data you have created, that data will get deleted at the end. You can see, if I execute this thing, you can see it get executed. So every time it's creating the new data actually. Run again. So you can see, this is the benefit of the automation testing. Your script is done, your automation script is done. Now you have to only run. You can check your anything is not broken, it's everything is working fine or not.
Okay.
So it's create the data, verify that data, update that data, and delete that data. That is the full CRUD operation which you are doing here. Any still confusion?
No, no, no. So Postman, like in this post request, it recognize that what is the latest response, and on base of that response, it take this as a response body, and then it do the changes, no? And I mean, like,
Sorry, come again.
yeah, I mean, so like if we create one post request and then we get any response, so that
Mhm.
latest response it will take in response body. If we are doing an automation script.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And if we are passing a body JSON object, then we can also use it as a request body and create a post request. No.
Come again. Come again.
Like in this automation script, if we
Uh-huh.
are using if we are having a JSON object in body.
Mm-hmm. Here.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in test we are using request body in place of
Here.
response body. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So I think you will still get confused, sir. This the doubts will, I will, if I explain the tomorrow topic, then you will
Yeah.
get the clear
Yes.
picture why
Yeah.
we are using the response and the response body. What is the purpose behind that? Okay.
If you could, like, in place of response body, tell one example using request body, then I think I will get
Yeah.
clear.
In tomorrow class, I will explain you. No problem, sir.
Okay, so we can
Okay.
use no request body in place of
Yeah,
response.
you can use response body. Here you can see
Yeah.
json dot parse request dot data. This is the
Okay.
syntax of that request dot data. So whatever the request you are writing here, if you write it here, request dot body, right? So it will get your request data. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
In tomorrow class, I will, clarify this thing, why we are using response body as a argument here and request body here.
So
Okay.
basically, I was just trying to understand using the like earlier classes where we need to do post get manually. So
Mm-hmm.
I was just trying to understand by that way. So I was a bit confused, like in a whole database, how it is able to create a new data unless and until we are not giving any JSON object. So
No, 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 no. This thing is, even when you are doing manually or automation thing, this thing is not, any connection with your database.
okay,
The things which you are writing in the code section, this is not connecting with your database. This thing is executed by your postman,
okay. But to like
right?
do any post request, we need to give something like JSON object on.
No, no, because this thing is considered as a JSON object.
Yes, yes. So this thing
This
it
thing considered.
yeah, yeah. Yes. So this thing we need to give no always in post request,
Yeah,
whether in
this thing
automation.
you have to give this thing so that server will understand what body you are passing here. This thing
Yes,
you have to pass.
yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, understood. Thank you, Vikas, for the time.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, and we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.